Gooning is a disgusting thing, and we need to talk about it, okay? We can't pretend that no one's gooning. We can't act like the goon caves aren't happening. That's what they want you to do. They want you to say, darling, it's okay. There's no goon cave. There's no gooners anywhere. No one's gooning.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 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 Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking.
I was molded by the goon cave, shaped by it. I didn't see an unprolapsed anus until I was a man. Ra's al Ghul's goon cave.
Yes.
It's the Lazarus pit is just nut.
God, I've got 3 different beverages over here.
Yeah, you're maxing and relaxing over there. You got the Zweekel.
Yeah.
You got the peach bush.
Yeah, the Busch Light peach.
And then you got a little bit of that dark amber Modelo.
Yeah.
I don't know how to properly pronounce the word there, negra. Every time I say it, I feel like I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. It's like when you try to say Andy Nago's
Andy
name.
Go.
He's like, can I say that?
Yeah, I know. And so I was like, I don't know, man.
Oh, it's a little boring. I don't know. Like, I feel like there should be like a skin tone chart where it's like
It's safe to
above
say.
this shade.
Yeah.
Above this Crayola skin tone color, you're good. Below it,
Take caution,
you're
my
bad,
friend.
or
Yeah,
vice versa. Yeah.
Just be aware.
So, starting a new job, and it's fine.
It's fine. Definitely sets the toes a tapping. What do you?
I mean, I haven't actually because it's a big corporation and I have to do like all this orientation, all this like all of this like the safety stuff that they were doing is like this like logistics and all that. Like there's like me and like 2 old school warehouse guys, and we're just chuckling. Like that's what you're supposed to do, but like in practice, like nah, you aren't ever gonna chuck your wheels the pull a forklift up into a trailer. Like I'm like like the last time someone called me a to my face was when I asked if he chucked his wheels on his trailer.
Damn.
Like it's just like I'd rather just die than deal with that. I'd rather just cause an OSHA complaint. But like the first day of orientation ended with an HR thing, and like our benefits and all that, and we're like in this conference room. There's like, I don't know, 8 of us. And the lady that's leading it, she walks out of the room and there's just like a Zoom call that we're kind of like a part of, like from the wall.
Yeah.
And one of the old school warehouse dudes just like straight up pulls up the call on his cell phone and doesn't like mute it because there's like links and stuff coming by.
Yeah.
And he just like lets the audio fly, and it starts like getting to the point where it's like distracting her as she's talking because she's like hearing this echo. And I think at a couple points it was starting to create a feedback loop.
Yes.
And we're all just kind of sitting there like, I don't know what to say to this like dude that I don't know.
Right.
That like, hey man, you should like turn off your phone, like, or you should at least turn the volume down. But he's just like, why is it doing that? And I'm like, I'm just kind of like sitting there, just like, man,
damn,
like this is so tight. This is like, and the lady comes back like, oh, like after the call's over, and she's like, oh, everything go well, and we're just like, yeah, it went great. And
it's great.
God damn, this is so good. Why is it doing that? And like.
And that's when you knew he was like fucking with you. Yeah, it's beautiful.
No, I think that guy legitimately did not know because he didn't know what QR code was.
Oh, okay. Well,
like this is how old. Like I was like helping one of the dudes with his computer, and he was like, "Oh, that's egghead shit you're doing." I'm like, dude, I'm telling you where to click a link. Like I'm not like doing any port forwarding or like this is slightly dumber than turning Google into nighttime mode.
Well, welcome to nighttime mode. It's 48 minutes of dogs barking. My name is Jason. This is Brian. We're very excited to have you with us today because today I found out that a vice presidential candidate for the United States for our election here, a very normal way to say that, is possibly a guy who fucks a couch.
He's finding all that loose change. He's getting deep. Found your Blockbuster card.
Oh yeah, he's getting in there. So this started with, as all good things do, with a tweet at Rick Rude's Cavs. Rick Rude's Cavs. Can't say for sure, but he might be the first VP pick to have admitted in a New York Times bestseller to fucking an inside-out latex glove shoved between two couch cushions, and then he cites the book Hillbilly Elegy with the page numbers.
So good.
179 to 181, he says. And no, it turns out that was not actually true, but not until after the internet got a hold of it. Oh boy. Twitter user at Wunderbar666 unironically tweeted the story as a criticism of Vance. Kept going. Reddit got a hold of it. Our political humor included a fake screenshot of Craigslist, which was JD Vance's used couch. That's the one I sent you.
Yeah, one's all nutted up on. That is a nasty ass couch. Like if that was like that's the couch you don't even, if it's at the punk house you don't even sit on.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's just nasty.
It's like that's the dog's couch. That's baby dog's couch.
Exactly. Yeah, baby dog. We love baby dog. But it just spread all over the place. I love this idea that just like, yeah, we're willfully spreading disinformation for fun because the original poster did include the bit from Arthur. You think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies under the original post. So very clearly, they knew what they were doing, and it has been deleted. It's no longer around now.
That's a shame. It's such a good tweet, and Vance is insane motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like Trump's fucking wild. Like, but Trump's like a out of touch like New York Wall Street schizo,
but also somebody's weird grandpa at the same time. Yeah.
But J.D. Vance is like a fucking groiper type.
Yeah.
I bet J.D. Vance has some really anti-Semitic viewpoints about seed oils.
Yeah,
just like a different type of curmudgeon.
He's a return guy, but he only cares about like beef tallow. He's one of those weird fuckers.
Which ear's the gay ear to get pierced?
Oh, that's some old school homophobia. That's like,
just like I've read some stuff where people are like this might be the worst VP pick since Palin.
Oh wow.
And it's entirely possible.
Oh, it is very, very possible. One of my favorite memes to come out of this was the Falconry Finance fella. Bernie posted this, and it's a mashup of Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, but also with various photos of J.D. Vance and then couches that he'd like to interact with.
The couch is cheeked up.
Just these really uncomfortable looking pictures of him, and then the different couches that look like they have facial expressions that look real worried.
The one where Beavis
is humping the couch.
Spanking my monkey.
And it says J.D. Vance 20 seconds after his wife leaves the house. Just having a field day with J.D. Vance, having a field day with people just going ham on this guy. I love to see it.
The fact that it felt believable.
Yeah.
When I first saw that tweet, when it was fresh. I saw that tweet before it probably had even like 100,000 views.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. Like I wouldn't put it past him.
Mm-hmm.
To have some weird sexual hang-up thing get into his hillbilly grift book. Like the shit about drinking Diet Mountain Dew. First of all, you gotta be drinking full strength.
Oh, wow.
And I do feel like that by championing if you're trying to be like a good old boy, you talk about drinking Mountain Dew, that is a racist dog whistle. I have worked with guys.
Is it?
Oh, it is. Oh, absolutely. There is a brand of white man that like champions drinking Mountain Dew above all other liquids besides alcohol. And there's definitely like Michelle Obama's a man kind of like vibe to them.
That's bizarre. I drink Diet Mountain Dew all the time.
Well, maybe you just think it's weird that like black people don't like sidewalks or something. I don't know. Like some of those things where like it's like that's racist, but it's just more just weird. Like
why do Puerto Ricans sleep at the bus stop? I've always wondered that.
Why can't Filipino men gain muscle?
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's like one of those things where, like, why is that your concern?
Being very concerned about Japanese birth rates for some reason. Yeah, not really your problem.
Yeah, man, it's a little weird you're thinking about that in that way, or at all.
No, I can't say that I do actually hold any of those. I just
Like weird uncle, like
well, you know, the wily Sudanese, you know,
Sudanese, they're allergic to flour.
You know, Armenians, they have to open rug stores because that's all they know.
Yeah, it's their culture, man, and like to deny them that is to be disrespectful. Actually, you're the racist, man.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
You're
right.
the racist one. Yeah. Speaking of one man that we wish were dead, and now a man that won't die.
This is actually the second story in a row as well of someone straight up lying on the internet. Senator Mike Lee, the Republican from Utah, reposted, apparently without reading, this letter, supposedly from the office of Jimmy Carter, announcing his death. And it reads very much like a form letter up until the second paragraph. President Carter served as President of the United States from 77 to 81. During his administration, President Carter championed human rights around the world, achieved significant foreign policy accomplishments, including selling the United States out to Panama, the Camp David Accords, a now failing treaty of peace between Egypt and Israel, getting soft on the Soviet Union, failing to rescue several hostages from Iran, and the establishment of U.S. diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China. And again, it's more boilerplate. Despite these successes as president, the letter continues, all his life, President Carter considered his marriage to former First Lady Rosalind Carter his life's greatest achievement. At her passing last November, President Carter said, quote, Rosalind was a baddie. Jill, Melania, even throat goat Nancy Reagan got nothing on Rosalind. She was the original brat. She gave me wise guidance and encouragement when I needed it. As long as Rosalind was in the world, I always knew somebody loved and supported me. They were married for 77 years. And so, because these things were kind of buried in here, people fell for it, including, actual representatives. I believe Ted Cruz also fell for it. But yes, it was it was obviously a fake, because I don't think anyone's going to call Rosalind Carter a baddie, the original brat.
Nancy Reagan, the original throat goat.
Yeah, just...
They buried Rosalind Carter in her favorite Amazon meme sweatpants or whatever. You know which ones I'm talking about.
And then the juicy on the ass?
No, the ones that make it look like your ass is like a fucking like some shit from like Robotron or whatever.
No, I don't know that. Okay.
You don't know the
No.
This is a years old thing, but there was like a trend of women buying these leggings that really accentuated your apple bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like really weird to like go work and have like female coworkers wearing like these like very like aggressive. I'm a thought joggers. Like that's
thought
just like
joggers,
just
okay.
absolutely just like. Are you going to the club straight
right?
after?
Is there something?
Like,
what's going
like
on
we
here?
work in a warehouse. There's no one here worth impressing because I also work here and I know this.
Well, that's fair. Oh, Jesus.
So they buried her.
Yeah, they buried her in the thought joggers. Jesus Christ. Well, speaking of juicy ass, that's all I got. So people have been making a big deal about the presumptive Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris. Not only the coconut memes, which we've talked about on the show, we're coconut pilled, at least for the time being. She's still Kamala. Don't let me forget that. But, for now, we're going to let some of that shit slide. But she's also has, let's just say, a famous ex-boyfriend, Montel Williams, former television host. He probably is still hosting something. I don't know.
He's probably doing something out there. He does a lot of commercials.
That's true. Yeah, I always get him and Montel Jordan confused for some reason, even though Montel Williams probably couldn't even sing "This Is How We Do It." Anyway, but Montel Williams was on the receiving end for some reason of fucking Cat Turd 2's shit posting.
Yeah.
Like, all Kamala's ever done is date Montel Williams.
And fuck Dak.
And so Montel Williams just posted the other day, who is Cat Turd? And people inundated him with responses. He kind of, oh, okay, this guy's kind of a piece of shit. So he quote tweets himself. The cat seems to have gotten Cat Turd 2's tongue, and all he can muster up is a few emoji. I hear he has a drinking problem and once ran over his dog while drunk driving. Let's all pray he finds sobriety and some peace. Woo!
This is, by the way, of our good friend, You Went Post, a.k.a. Miles
Miley, that's right.
Miles Klee, who also he responded to his own tweet with, getting 5150 by my family because I keep asking them if they heard about the Montel Williams cat turd beef, which is, yeah.
It is the kind of thing that makes you sound fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You heard Montel Williams was telling Cat Turd to go fuck himself? Like, who? Yeah, I know Montel Williams, but who? What a weird week, and it's only going to get weirder, brother. Oh, it's only going to get weirder. We've already got anti-Kamala Harris stuff.
Apparently, people do not want to take the coconut pill.
Which is a damn shame. But no, I've heard like Kamala toe. That's clunky. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Cackling
Kamala, though, might be, that's a good one from Trump, given where he's been.
I thought it was laughing Kamala.
He's done cackling Kamala.
Oh, he's done cackling? Oh, well, okay. That one
cackling Kamala.
Yeah, that one has, I mean, okay. That's fine, I guess.
What's she laughing about?
Yeah.
She on lithium? Folks. And, of course, the we can't go any further without talking about, the Gooner himself dropping out in the presidential race.
And then there's conspiracy theories saying that he's been dead this whole time. There's all sorts of fun stuff going around.
He ain't dead. He's smoking a Kush blunt. I figured, I texted you, I was like, he's in like the basement of the compound with 19 old cathode TVs.
Oh, yeah.
Just playing 80s VHS porn, just, reflecting in his aviators. He's, he's got Chumbawamba on the stereo. He's just absolutely gooning himself to death.
Yeah.
He's calling his wife Dr. Jackoff Jill, just... And we all thought this was going to be like a boring election, like one that was just a death march into the ocean. And it's going to be like that still, I think. It's just there's going to be like some party favors. And
we're going to have a good time getting there at least. I think that's
it's going to be a little bit more like The Road than we had hoped.
Jesus.
Do you carry the flame?
No.
Do you carry the flame, Kamala?
Yeah. No joke. Jesus Christ. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, on that note, it's Crypto Scam of the Week, baby.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
Scam of the Week.
Oh, Crypto Scam of the Week. This week, this one was brought to us by a fan of the show. At G's.
UGHG.
EEZ.
JEEZ, I should say. Yes.
Yeah, bio only says The Postmaker. So, the website they list also is gyms.bike, which is
unfortunately not a real URL.
Not an actual URL. But, boy, we're really fond of this. So their post was, do you have this week's Crypto Scam of the Week yet? Which I did not at the time. And it was the American Communist Party. Now, I don't know about you, but on just hearing the name, I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. Tell me more. But then this is Johnny Socialism posting, the American Communist Party is a cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme with an artificial valuation which requires all of your personal information, is hosted on a Peter Thiel Fellows blockchain platform, a company run by alumni from McKinsey and Google. Nothing has ever glowed harder. Yeah, not good. You're going to give all your personal information to Peter Thiel?
No.
At all?
Never.
Ever? No.
Not unless it's to lure him into a dark alley so I can with a hammer.
Well, sometimes the sacrifice must be made. But yes, the ACP has come out and said, this coin is not ours. All the party infrastructure is on the blockchain. So
fucking weird.
Very strange.
What does that TikTok say?
So this was Your Commie Dad on TikTok.
And it didn't even take but mere moments for the scamming to start. Check this out. Just in case anyone's wondering, I did some digging and the founder of this coin artificially enriched its value, and then only 30 minutes after launching it, immediately withdrew all of the ETH they initially enriched it with. Y'all, don't let these guys, ideologically and financially scam you. Run the other way.
And yeah, so he did show a post where someone said, yeah, they artificially increased the value. 30 minutes later, rugged it, took all the ETH out of the project. Just a real shit show. And apparently, this American Communist Party is actually crypto-fascists. So that's fun. So,
Yeah, American communism is just a real fucking shit show, man.
yeah, they were saying Jackson Hinkle's involved and all those guys. Just some real...
Oh,
just not great. And of course, people are tagging CoffeeZilla in this. Again, Johnny Socialism. Finally, a truly American Communist Party. A fictitious use of capital to utilize AI bot networks to replace the workers, forge signatures in an attempted hostile takeover, then fake evaluation by juicing it with bots and blue check morons to entice investors to drop money. To hammer this point home, the American Communist Party website is built with a crypto engine NFT Web3 engine called Immutable. Literally a crypto bro Peter Thiel Ponzi scheme disguised as a political party. Here it reads, Sydney, Australia, March 7th, Immutable announced it secured $200 million in Series Seed financing led by Temasek with investors from Animoca Brands, Tencent, Parify Capital, Princeville Capital, Arrington Capital, Mirai Asset, and Liberty Global also joined the rounds as new investors. Yeah, it stinks to high heaven, folks.
bringing its valuation to 2.5 billion.
Billion with a B. That's right. That was back in March.
March of 22.
Oh, 22. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, and again, the post continuing. To join, you have to generate a security key and authenticate with Telegram, which exposes your real physical mobile device. This would be a huge security issue for a political party, but for a Fed honeypot operation, it's a feature, not a bug. And yeah, somebody said, truly, this would have put a tear in William Foster's eye. Nasty shit. Well, I mean, politically driven meme coins aren't all that new. I'm sure Pump.Fun's got a ton of Kamala coins and all that. But
And all the Trump shit. There was a couple Vance coins that fucking pumped really hard.
couch
last
fucker
weekend.
coin, yeah.
All the crypto nerds are really rooting for the Trump Vance ticket because Trump's pro crypto-ish now, but Vance, in one of his last disclosures of his finances, had to reveal that he owns somewhere between like $100,000 and $200,000 of cryptocurrencies.
Whew, boy. Well, the last time I heard Trump talking about Bitcoin mining, it sounded like he thought it was literally taking Bitcoins out of the ground, though. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't put
Well, there's like some big Bitcoin conference where RFK Jr., Trump, and apparently even now Kamala are going to speak.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking wild, man. Like I said, like we thought this was going to be like a boring death march into the ocean.
Yeah, not great. Is it good to let crypto fascists, as in fascists who love crypto, blow all their money on this useless shit?
Sure, but you got to think they're blowing their money on it, but who's walking away with the bag? Probably the bigger, more connected crypto fascists. So
Yeah,
whoever wins, we lose.
really fucking depressing.
And it's like, the world's bad. I don't know, like
The world is a mess. So, Brian, I brought you here tonight to talk about dead malls.
oh yeah, those things that used to exist.
Yeah, those things that used to exist, but also a website. You brought this to my attention. I had not been to this website in many, many a year. Deadmalls.com in particular. Deadmalls.com. A place for photos of dead malls.
Yeah, it's a weird Internet 1.0 website that I think the Facebook page might be more active than the real page.
Yeah.
Apparently, they have a general comments hotline. They've had over 4 million views. It looks like here they also have a sodafinder.com ad here at the bottom.
Yeah. I got to see sodafinder.com.
I gotta see what this is about.
Soda shipped directly to your door. Okay. All right. Let's see. What do they got? Diet or sugar free. Okay.
Oh, Tropical Zero. Damn.
$25 for a 12-pack. $23 for a 12-pack of 7-Up Cherry.
Adirondack. I've never heard of that.
Mm-hmm. Ale 81. Okay, $26 for a 12-pack of some of these. Yeah, $25 for a 12-pack of Big Red. Yeah.
Oh, fucking Cheerwine? That's
yeah.
what's up.
Again, $25 for a 12-pack.
$3 for a bottle of Mexican Coke.
Cooper's Cave Birch Beer had that. That's a good one. Doc X. That's a weird one. Yeah, this was...
oh, shit. Yeah, they had this at the vending machine in my high school.
After they pulled Dr. Slice, they wanted to have a Dr. Pepper competitor. And so it was Doc X. Yeah, it says it was touted as an energy drink. It tastes like pre-2002 Pib. Stock purchased August 2022. Freshness date May 2023. It's now a year out of date. I'm going to pass on sodafinder.com personally.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where I want to go for mine. But we're here to talk about dead malls, my man. The site itself, two guys, Peter Blackbird and Brian Florence. It was Pete's hobby. He calls himself a retail historian. It boils down to him researching and learning as much as he can about the many facets of the retail industry. Let's see, the quoting here from their About page, having himself worked for Hills department stores during their transition into Ames, along with Brian, who worked at Caldor, as well as other various retail-oriented contacts, they find themselves captivated by the current trends in the retail industry and have seen firsthand the demise of many of these great giants of retail. They say retail a lot in this sense. Having had a hand in retail working, the two continue to devote their time to tracking the cause and effect of the dead mall phenomenon and preserving the memory of these shopping centers for years to come. Thanks to the power of the internet, we have been able to compile information from people all over the web, contributing invaluable information to our cause. Deadmalls.com is an endeavor designed to promote the history of these malls as well as their nature, whether thriving or declining, and the impact of time and competition on these establishments. So it does not say when they were founded, but by the look of the website, boy, it looks, like you said, very, very Web 1.0.
Well, the copyright there, the
2000.
2000,
Okay. I see that,
24. I feel like the first time I saw this was probably like late 2000s.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the kind of thing you would stumble upon.
Well, I mean, St. Louis has so many dead malls, and yeah, around the mid 2000s, with online retail becoming more and more popular, yeah, these malls just started fucking cratering. And you can tell, like, just going by the Missouri section, like how infrequent it's updated, because I think the most recent dead mall on there is Crestwood, when we also have West County. Or not West County, Chesterfield. I don't know why the fucking mall that is not in West County is called West County Mall.
Right.
And the mall that's actually in West County is called Chesterfield. I mean, the Chesterfield Mall is located in Chesterfield, Missouri. So that's fine, but I just want my coffee-flavored fucking coffee.
Right.
But there's been 2 or 3 dead malls in the last decade or so, and none of them have been updated.
No, Northwest Plaza is still around. It's just different retail. It's not a mall proper anymore.
Yeah, the last time I walked into Jamestown, I want to say was like early 2014. And it was a Saturday.
Yeah,
or not a Saturday. It was a Sunday. I was out taking photos in that part of North County, and I was like, I'll just drive by and see what's going on. And I want to say the only thing open were churches. The movie theater there, which used to be a Warenberg, I want to say, where I had a friend in high school who worked there, and we probably saw Kill Bill Part 1 a dozen times.
Hell yeah.
We had a lot of fun with that. But that was like a weird DIY movie theater that was showing like grindhouse movies. So there was like a lot of people that were in the horror grindhouse scene here in St. Louis that were making very specific trips to go see movies at Jamestown's movie theater. I remember Eric Eister, who played bass in Shame Club and currently plays bass in Hell Night. I remember him posting photos on Facebook of just like, I remember when this movie theater used to be popping, and it's just like a dude and like his family like running it, like you see like the teenage daughter like working like the ticket booth and stuff, and he's like, it's a little weird, but like it was $5. You
mentioned the mall out in Chesterfield. And that one had this place called the Neutral Zone. It was another mom and pop kind of operation. It's really just the one guy. He sold like old Star Wars toys, and he had all these other these arcade machines he was trying to sell. But you paid $20, and they opened about noon, so you could go there, hang out all day, and just play on free play on all these arcade machines.
Yeah.
Problem is the guy didn't maintain any of his machines. Like the RoboCop machine was like broken. There was an old Street Fighter machine that was one of the joysticks was busted. They had the 2-screen X-Men side scroller. 2 of the 4 controllers were busted. Like there was just he didn't keep any of it up, but it was still like, well, okay, I can still play House of the Dead all day for $20.
Bucks. Like you probably walk away getting your money's worth at least.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah,
eventually. It took a minute.
Yeah, Star Wars Arcade, you could beat it a couple times, or you could play,
all the extra missions or whatever, like all the different branching stuff and all that. Yeah.
I mean, there were a few real good classics. He had a Rampage machine that still worked, which was a surprise.
Yeah. I fucking loved Rampage as a kid. That was one of my favorite arcade machines.
And the screen was a little burnt in. The CRT was starting to fail on the Simpsons machine, but everything worked. So you could play the Simpsons arcade. But that's the same thing. Downstairs where the food court was, no, all those food courts, it's all gone. And now it's a pickleball arcade.
Yeah.
Pickleball court. I say arcade because I'm still thinking about the fucking neutral zone.
That movie theater's gone. That was It Comes at Night I saw there, Neon Demon. That was like a weird one that would play.
It was AMC.
Was that AMC?
Yeah, it was AMC. At least at the end.
Yeah, but that one always played stuff that you wouldn't even find at High Point or Chase Park Plaza. Yeah, there was sometimes I saw fucking Super Troopers 2 there, which was a waste.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably better off not having seen it. That movie had
one good joke in it, and you did not have to build a whole entire film around.
So if you have a history with malls like Brian or myself, or if you don't, if you missed that era,
you're a Zoomer and you're too busy doing your TikToks and your skiddy toilets and shit.
They have at some points included walkthroughs, videos. Here's a one from 2012.
Yeah, I actually went and photographed Crestwood Mall early 2013. Spent a couple hours there until security kicked us out. It was weird.
Yeah, I mean, Crestwood Mall was the one where all of my county friends would hang out because I went to a high school in Clayton and I lived in Florissant, and so all these guys lived kind of around the area. They all kind of lived in Sunset Hills, or they lived, off by the sculpture park, some of them.
Lumiere, yeah.
Yeah. And
Meyer, sorry.
It was all in that area. And so the natural place to meet was to go to Crestwood Mall. Crestwood Mall was really interesting to me because there was that bit where you drive in and you go into the parking garage, which is underneath.
Garage was insane.
Yeah, the parking garage is underneath the mall. And then you take the escalator up into the mall proper.
And the parking garage goes fucking deep.
It was the whole width of the mall.
I must say, yeah.
If it was bad weather, it didn't matter. You just drive under the thing.
Yeah, structurally, it was a very interesting building. Also, like where the food court was and the arcade.
Mm-hmm. On the same level as the parking garage.
Yeah, it was fucking surreal.
Well, because it was on a hillside. That's what's really screwy. And so let's put the mall part on top, and then everything else can kind of go underneath. And it worked because obviously going down to the food court, very common. You see that at the Galleria still. You still saw that at a couple other places. Food court and the arcade were all together, just like they are everywhere. Food court and the arcade, that's the perfect thing. You go, you get your McDonald's, or you get your whatever, you get your not Jersey Mike's. What's the one with the
Sbarro?
Yeah,
gotta get your fucking Sbarro.
Gotta get a slice.
Yeah, I haven't really gone to a mall too often since the pandemic. I've gone to South County a couple times, and that's like on the verge of really crapping out.
It's not good.
Yeah, Galleria is still holding on. West County is still holding on.
Some of those ones where they're right where the highway is, I think they're going to have a little bit more staying power. Galleria's in a richer part of town.
Same thing with West County, yeah.
Yeah, so people that are kind of in the area are going to go there when they need whatever. They need to go to Forever 21 for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
They need to go get their ears pierced at the Claire's, or blow all their money up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to Urban Outfitters and get a $30 copy of a Strokes album on vinyl, whatever it is that they need.
Did I tell you about when I worked at the Galleria? I worked at the fucking Tivana.
Yeah, you've mentioned it, but I don't know if you've told.
That was a bad job.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about tea.
Which is nice.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And it gave me a passion for tea and appreciating and the different types of tea and different ways you can prepare it and enjoy it. But the job itself was hot, wet garbage. The district manager apparently was such a drunk that they had to take away her corporate card from her bar tabs. From the way she acted when she would be in the store, it seemed like that was true.
Oh, no.
But the chick that plays Roxy Richter...
Yeah, Mae Whitman.
She's from St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
Or she has family here. And there would be times like on a quiet like Friday morning, I would be sitting there with the fucking sample cart. I fucking hated doing the samples. Hey, you want to check out, Strawberry Passion Bumfuck? No, you can't drink the one that's been on the fucking tray for 20 minutes. That would be gross. You fucking heathen. Let me get you a fresh one. You fucking...
no.
Yeah, dude, just like, look, can I have another one? Like, no, you've already had 3, man. Like, you can get a cup. It's like $4. Anyways, but Mae Whitman, she has family here. And every once in a while, I would hear someone just go, her?
Because she played a character in Arrested
Egg.
Development. Yeah. That's right. Oh, God. Her?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I guess Mae Whitman's here. That's...
That would drive me bananas were I her.
Yeah, that just cracked me up.
Oh, man. Egg?
Egg.
I think it was the other nickname they had for her on that show. I love that you immediately said Roxy Richter and not...
I couldn't. The name was on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, well, that's the other thing she's known for. Besides, I think being on like the reboot of 90210 maybe or something. I can't remember what else she's done.
She was on that show Parenthood for like 5 years. That was good.
Oh, okay. Good Girls, I think, was one of the other
Good Girls.
ones. Yeah.
Okay. That was a good one too, actually. These middle brow, like middle of the road, kind of TV for everybody kind of shows.
Yeah.
Because my wife's watching This Is Us. When Mandy Moore?
The fuck?
Apparently Mandy Moore is in it. I don't know. Very strange.
She can act though. She's been in a couple of things.
No, Mandy Moore rules. I loved her in Saved.
Oh yeah, Saved is great. But man, I feel like we're really just walking around the fact that this our topic today is a little thin.
It's a little thin, but what I do like about it, and I mentioned this briefly before, is that they include the videos of the walkthroughs. That's always interesting to me because I think if just talking about it, because I mean these guys do at length. Casey Dierks is one of the contributors, wrote about Crestwood Plaza. Some of the other contributors have gone through, like Northwest Plaza was written by JT August. They've got contributors that write these really lengthy, very descriptive things, but I don't think, unless you have the video, you get the full effect because there really is something about experiencing the walkthrough of these malls. You know what I mean? Like I could tell you where things were in Northwest Plaza by memory because I spent a lot of time there.
Oh man, that fucking arcade.
Oh, Tilt. Yeah, Tilt was a phenomenal arcade.
God, yeah, Tilt was awesome. Spent a lot of time there as a kid.
A lot of movies I saw at that Warenberg as well.
That's where I saw the weird robot Choose Your Own Adventure movie.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of robots, that's where I convinced my mom to buy tickets for my friend Dan and I to see Terminator 2, which was an R-rated movie for me when I was 13. So it was like the first time I saw an R-rated movie in the theater.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'd seen them on HBO, but it was something very different to see Terminator 2 opening weekend because I just could not wait. I couldn't wait for home video. Who knows when that was going to come out? It could be a year from now.
I saw Jurassic Park there. Saw one of the Alien movies. I think it might have been Aliens 3.
Probably was, yeah.
Oh, I saw Spawn there.
Oh.
But the film reel melted.
No.
About 20 minutes in.
No.
And everyone was super bummed. And they gave us vouchers and we just like hung around the mall until the next screening happened. We were so stoked for Spawn. And I remember rewatching that movie a couple of years ago because it was on HBO Go or something and being like, oh, this was never good. I was just a child.
Yeah, it's got a few high points. The high point I will give it is John Leguizamo as the Violator. And the other one is Martin Sheen. Everything else is just kind of okay.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And, it was just one of those things. But yeah, like reading about the history of Northwest Plaza or reading about Wentzville Center even, or Wentzville Crossings, excuse me. This was the mall in Wentzville
I never went to this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a bit a ways away. Some of these are, there's not a lot to them. It's here's the history of it, and that's it. So it really does depend on where you're looking. Back to Missouri. Let's see.
St. Louis Center.
St. Louis Center.
That
All
was
right.
the mall downtown, correct?
Correct. That was downtown.
That was actually a really fucking crazy mall. That was huge.
Several stories. Yeah, I mean, there was, let's see here. The only stores left in the mall in 2001, this according to Adam Godfrey, who wrote this, were Walgreens, GNC, the General Nutrition Company, the supplement store.
The supplement store, yeah.
Payless Shoes, local restaurants that set up shop in the food court, where chains like Sbarro, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, and McDonald's had vacated.
And that Walgreens had crazy security. I don't know if you remember.
I do, because it was downtown St. Louis.
Yeah, so it was like yeah, it wasn't really worth like even like going into, because you just felt like you were being watched.
So that St. Louis Center was where my family would go to get the pictures with Santa every year. So we would go to St. Louis Center and to the famous bar.
One of my earliest memories is my mom and I on the car park on the level, the top level, so the sunlight was coming in, and her adjusting the little bow tie I was wearing or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was like something like a mint suit that she had me in, and adjusting my bow tie before taking photos with Santa.
I guess that was a pretty common experience for
Because it was
people.
the fancy mall.
It was the fancy mall for a very long time, and I still have. And speaking of the mint suit with the bow tie, I've got one where it's myself, my cousin Kelly, my cousin Megan, and we're all in matching blue and red sailor suits. I'm gonna find this and put this online for when the show goes live. But yeah, just what a strange time to be a child. But
I should try and find some of the like children photos from when I was young, because like, some of the stuff that my mom put me in, she would be like, yeah, I found this old photo and I made a copy and printed it on the photo printer, and I put it in my cubicle, and all my coworkers just go, wow. And I'm like, yeah, because you made me dress like I was like a background extra in the John Waters film.
you had to have the big lollipop.
There's one of me in the backyard of my grandparents' house in Spanish Lake by the attached garage, and it was a tree that grew alongside the garage that was something that my mom planted in high school. And now the tree was like taller than the garage and all that. It was like a dogwood, I want to say, or something like that. And I'm probably like 3 or 4 years old, and I'm wearing I want to say like puke green pants.
No.
And like a shiny, like silver and black houndstooth blazer with like some other like disgusting color dress shirt beneath it, and like a disgusting color bow tie. Like I look like a background extra from Crybaby.
Right. You look like a I wanted to say JD Vance, but no, they look like a young Tucker Carlson, like
yeah. Like, did you like me, Mom? Why were you doing this to me? Was this for my expense for your gain?
It was to torture a child. Yeah,
make him dress like shit. I mean, if I thought I had a really awful kid, like, check it out. We're gonna get you some Granimals.
Yeah, we're going overalls. We're gonna do the whole
Oshkosh bagosh.
Yes, sir.
Oshkosh bitch.
And so something I wanted to talk about in relation to dead malls, because again, the dead malls thing is very thin on the ground as far as the website goes. A couple of guys had an interest in retail. They made a website about it. And the website is not nearly as up to date as we would hope, but it did make me think of kind of a larger idea. And this idea is something that Ed Zitron, former guest of the show, did talk about, and I believe Dan Olson even has a video titled this, which was "The Future is a Dead Mall." This idea that the web, like sites like this, is increasingly becoming, much like these malls, dying. And
stagnant.
Things aren't getting updated. There's no sense that an individual website is important enough to focus on. Because now what we have, and we've talked about this before, I think, is just a series of platforms. Substack, newsletters even, Substack or whatever, the Beehive is the other one.
Yeah.
Twitter, Facebook, whatever your social media, Reddit even, a platform, not a website that you built out of care, out of some weird obligation to like tell people about dead malls, or some weird obligation to tell people about this idea that you have about ninjas. Like there's
Right.
Something's missing from the modern web. And I think
your opinions about the birth rates in Japan.
whatever it is, yeah, whatever niche interest you have, no longer is it confined to go to my site and read all about it. I mean, the Time Cube guy may be the only one who continues to update his site, but he's kind of gone off the deep end. But it's this idea that instead of being siloed into a place that something like Portal of Evil would discover, or the awful link of the day would discover and then put in front of some people, now it's just you're posting it on an account on another website. I'm posting it to Reddit in the R Dead Malls subreddit. You're posting it to your Twitter account, which is like mall_dead, whatever it is. You'll still build an audience, sure, but it's a very different experience. Because, like you said, this website is very much Web 1.0. I mean, some of this stuff is somewhat more modern, but it's still very old school in its presentation. It's built for smaller monitors, because you can see all the borders on the side there. It's definitely built for the square CRTs, not for the widescreen monitors of the present day. It's made for ease of reading. It's got the black background with the white text, classic stuff. Before that became an option, night mode. It's like, no. This is how you make a website readable.
Yeah, this was the way.
I do like going back through the press section of this website, because it is in order from when they first started the site to the last piece of press they got, which was this year. It was in February 2024, and this one is the CT Insider. Many malls in the Northeast are declining. This Connecticut man is documenting them. This is a standard video for Tom Grady. The unassuming Hartford man has made a hobby of documenting local malls on his YouTube channel, Flea Bitten Adventures. And this is the kind of thing that I was referring to when talking about a walkthrough. This guy is mentioned in the same breath as Dead Malls, but he's doing something on YouTube. He's doing something on another platform. These websites are becoming Dead Malls, talking about Dead Malls. If you have a chance, by the way, do check out Grady's channel. It's called Flea Bitten Adventures. It really is fascinating, because he does go through, here's Crystal Mall, Deader Than Ever. I mean, a little bit of the clickbaity titles, but, there's just some great stuff where he does the walkthrough of an arcade. Here's one. It's 30 minutes, right? The Half Moon Family Fun Center at Weirs Beach in Laconia, New Hampshire. Anyway, this is 30 minutes. I'm not gonna, but it's just an example. It's an example of kind of, instead of a personal website like this, like Dead Malls, someone is going out there and documenting things in a different way. So it's not so much that things aren't being handled the same way. It's just that they're not on their own sites, I guess. I'm still kind of coming around to this idea, because this website is about as dead as some of these malls are.
The Facebook page that's attached to deadmalls.com is much more active. Mm-hmm. Also, it was worth mentioning that you're talking about people doing video. There was on YouTube for a long time, a bunch of videos of a guy, I guess it was a security guard at Jamestown Mall when it was closed. Like, it was just like him riding a mountain bike through the mall, but like blasting music on like a boombox. It was on the handles of the mountain bike. So it's like him like fucking listening to like ZZ Top.
Hell yeah.
Just like cruising through the mall. I'm like, that's where the fucking food court used to be. And that's where the fucking diamond store was. And
damn.
Just, fucking reeling in the ears and shit. It's just really surreal.
Yeah.
Almost like outsider art unintentionally. But also, there's a photographer who goes by the name of Seph Lawless.
Okay.
SEPH, I believe, Lawless, who has published a couple books, I believe, on carpet bombing culture, which is a British publishing house. He's published, like I said, a couple books specifically about dead malls, and he's kind of been the foremost dead mall photographer, at least for a couple of years. I think he's kind of chilled out.
Yeah.
For a little bit, because I think like security guards and property owners were looking for him.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah.
Because like, who's this guy with like a weird haircut with the smoke show girlfriend like sneaking into like a dead mall outside of like Canton, Ohio? Like, it can only be one guy.
Right. I did see, I believe I have looked through the book Black Friday, The Collapse of the American Shopping Mall. That was 2014. If you can find a copy of that. There's that.
Very skilled. Some really beautiful photos. Some people say that like the work that he did, some of the photos he did were like inspirations for like The Last of Us, like I think the video game and the show, things like that. He's even photographed some stuff here in St. Louis. He photographed Jamestown Mall a few times, a couple other places. Yeah, very talented guy, but he's really chilled out over the last like couple of years, I want to say, since the pandemic.
All right. Well, with the dead mall explored, I think it's time for...
Well, something you might find in the basement of the dead mall. Gross pictures.
Gross pictures indeed. It is the Shock.jpg.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
So, this one comes to us courtesy of the freak.org. This one's called Skinny Dipping. It is a series of photos of very overweight people in a pool, a nude. And the header just says, Yeah.
This reminds me of like these albino like water frogs my mom had.
And so first we got them showing off their asses, and then you've got
that pool net. the
pool
skimmer's
net.
not going to work on that.
No, the pool net is not. And then an attempted sex here. What's really mystifying about this one is that it's just from it's under it's somebody who's taking a photo in the water, so you don't see the people's heads. So it's just these disembodied, overweight people nude, and it's off-putting in a way that I can't begin to explain. But yeah, that's them attempting.
What's off-putting isn't necessarily the subject matter. It's
No.
about how it's being documented.
Yeah, they've removed everything but the genitals and the weight of these people, and so it's just this kind of disembodied pieces of people. Alien photography, it's just very strange, unless of course you have this very close-up shot of the beaver asshole, and there's the fourth one, and then
okay, well I guess that explains
and then at the bottom, very tiny text, good thing I don't have a .mov of this. Now that's insulting.
It's funny because they're fat, right?
Yeah, exactly right. According to the Screamer Wiki, it was made in 2000 by, quote, an unknown creator. Well, freak.org, I would imagine they created it. Anyway, it was taken around about 2014. The comments, though, is what I've... At the bottom of the sea, sounds like a normal ass pool to me. Yeah, and so, like, it's not really all that shocking. It's just overweight people in a pool being nude. What the hell?
Yeah, it's just...
It's fat phobia disguised as, like...
Yeah,
Is
it's
this
just
weird?
really weird more than like offensive. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, and again, we're not talking about overweight like I'm overweight. I mean, we're talking about people who are in excess of probably about 300, 400
they
pounds.
need to go one of those hypnotists.
But at the same time, something like this is just like, yeah, they're overweight people and they're getting freaky in a pool. What is
Like,
it?
I think again, like I think the way it's documented is like the issue, because if this was photographed by someone that didn't feel like it was to meet their fetish or something like that, like if it was like a fine arts photographer doing this, like it'd probably just be like, oh, that's really interesting. But just the underwater, the no heads, the way everything's posed and framed, it definitely feels like a guy that's not allowed to go to that store anymore.
He's been banned from the Golden Corral. Yeah,
he's been banned for the Golden Corral reasons. The
ban-
what's the infamous thing banned for calling God gay?
Was that a Something Awful ban?
It did come from Something Awful. It was when there was a rarely sanctioned forums invasion, and it was like a really weird ultra right wing like Christian forum.
Yeah.
And someone posted their band page or their band pop up, and it was like reason for ban, like calling God gay.
Okay.
Ban expires.
Never. Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, something awful bans are always fun to kind of look up. I always look up people's rap sheets when I meet somebody that I find out it's a goon. I'm like, oh, okay, what have you been banned for? Last thing I got banned for, by the way, before anyone tries to look me up, I toxed for Bernie in 2020. So that was the last time I got banned.
I think I got banned like 2009 or 2010 and re-regged a fresh account, logged into it twice, forgot the email.
Oh,
forgot
no.
the username.
Oh, no.
I don't think I've actually been logged into the forum since like 2010, which feels weird.
Yeah.
Considering how much time I spent in my life from 2003 to like 2010 on those forums. And then like Twitter became big and like everyone that was funny went over there and got their internet fun bucks.
I only wish they did. Some of them did, but not to the extent that I had hoped. I still think when Drill had a show on Adult Swim was kind of the
Yeah.
was
So
the apex
weird.
of that. But no, I'm still on there. The only time I got banned was toxing for Bernie.
I
and-
got banned all the time.
yeah.
Oh, an Idiot King contest.
Idiot Kings are the moderators of the FIAD subforum.
Yes. And every Friday there would be an Idiot King contest. And I still had dial up. One of the things is that so it had to be a thing like you either had like create something or you had to I'm thinking of a like put like this a little something more creative than this, but like I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100.
Okay.
So one of the things that could get you banned or probated was trolling the Idiot King contest thread, and the other thing that gets you banned and probated was posting the same thing as someone else.
Oh.
So I got banned because it was Spocker Jones, the guy who wrote the really weird thing about cats getting declawed.
No, yeah, okay.
Which he's right. It's wrong to declaw a cat.
That movement has been gaining traction in the United States. We're slowly phasing that out as a nation. Yeah.
But that was like his claim to fame for a while. Was writing this really weird, off-putting front page article like that wasn't really funny.
Yeah, it was just advocating for his cause.
Yeah, but he posted one that was like, I'm thinking of a Simpsons character. And it was fucking Hans Moleman. And I posted Hans Moleman, and literally like 15 seconds before me, someone else posted Hans Moleman.
Oh.
So they got to become Idiot King, and I got to become banned. And I didn't post an Idiot King threads after that.
Yeah, probably a smart move.
That's, I think, the most notable ban.
It's too much work. Being an IK is too much work.
Yeah, but you get to, post cock
Yeah, true.
and edit people's posts, I think.
That's fair. You get the mod buttons, which is nice. Well, I guess it's time for the breath mint.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
Well, this week, Brian, I really only have one thing on my mind. Well, to quote Revolting Cox, I got two things on my mind. First thing's nothing, second's womankind. But for this, I only have one thing on my mind, and that's Stellar Blade, the video game that made everyone lose their fucking minds earlier this year.
And people were being really weird and horny about that game.
And on the other side, they were being like, well, why do you only want to jack off to video game characters? It's like, well, I don't know.
First of all, I spent $500 on this video card.
Yeah, I spent $500 on this PS5. I'm going to get some use out of it. So I found this at a local library. I was just kind of cruising around. I've been slowly making my way through Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. But I saw this and I said, well, okay, this looks like one I can rent for a week, knock out, a couple 20 hours or so. Seems like a Nier Automata, Devil May Cry type of game. And I was pretty much right. It's very much got those things. It's got a banger of a soundtrack, though. I don't know if you've heard any of this music from Stellar Blade, but the soundtrack is a bop. Again, very much like Nier Automata. I go between Automata and Automata. I cannot figure out how to actually say the name of the game, but the Nier game, the sexy robot game. And it's very much, plot-wise, very similar to Nier Automata as well. Almost beat for beat, which is weird. Like, sexy robot ladies are beating up aliens on behalf of humanity. I'm like, this is really familiar. I don't know. But Shift Up is doing their best with what they got, Visually, it definitely takes advantage of the PS5 hardware. It looks gorgeous, booba and all. But what's interesting about that is that the cosmetic stuff, all the different suits and all the different, that's purely optional. You can do that if you want. And if you don't, you don't. And I think Yahtzee Croshaw did put it best. He's like, yeah, it's for people who want Nier Automata, but also want to play dress-up dollies. And he's not wrong, because there's definitely, there's a whole side quest about finding the guy's stuff so he can cut your hair, so you can get new haircuts. Stuff that matters not at all
to you.
You're right, to the game play at all. I don't know. It's interesting. It's got a PlayStation 3 charm. It's just
Sure.
It's an action platforming explorathon. You're collecting stuff. It's very old school in its mentality. Hopefully, it doesn't have nearly as many endings as Nier Automata, but it's just an enjoyable ride. I think people got a little overblown about a lot of stuff in this game.
I can see that,
because there's really not much to it. They keep trying to do this thing where, you're sent to Earth for all these secret reasons. It's you go to a place, you get a thing, you do a thing, and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's doing the job. It's fun. It's fine. The moment-to-moment combat is really where it shines, though. Because it's that, I mentioned Devil May Cry. It's got a lot of that action platforming thing happening. You're not switching weapons so much, but you're doing perfect dodges, perfect blocks, perfect parries. You're hitting the special abilities. And so there's optional bosses that are like buried beneath the earth. You got to seek out some of this extra content, because if you just play the main path of the game, you can knock that out pretty darn quick. But if you go exploring and start looking for all the different quests and all that, you're going to have a good old time. And there's some really emotional stories in there, which was surprising to me.
For a game with titty physics.
Yes. And let me tell you, the titty physics is distracting in a way that I'm like, I'm annoyed by it, honestly.
Is it like playing Dead or Alive with the age thing put up to 100?
Pretty much. Yeah, you're bouncing all over the place. Really, when you're playing the game, when you're in the combat, you're not noticing that as much because you're waiting for the prompt to block, or you're doing the Sekiro parry thing. So it wants to have its cake and eat it too, and I think for the most part it does. It's got a little cheesecake for the people who want that. It's got the action combat for people who want that. It's got dress-up dollies. It's got it tries to be a lot of different games at once. And it mostly succeeds at being okay at all of them. So I'm intrigued. I want to keep playing it. I kind of want to see how this ends. Obviously, I kind of can see some of these plot points coming because I played Nier Automata. If you haven't played Nier Automata, and this was the one you played, it might be like, whoa, this is super cool. But sadly, I've played the better version of this. But still, I'm still enjoying myself. So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. I think the last Devil May Cry-ish game I played was Bayonetta.
That's the other one I was thinking of when I was playing this game, because you are a tall, sexy lady, right? And it's all about combos and getting all that.
I thought Bayonetta was so much fun.
Oh, Bayonetta's a blast.
I think what I really liked about Bayonetta was that it felt like a Dreamcast game.
Yes. Okay. I hadn't even thought about it that way.
That's the charm, I think, of some of the Sega games that do get made that aren't Sonic fan service jerk-offs. That some of them, like a dragon.
Yeah.
Has DNA that goes back to Shenmue.
Oh, absolutely.
And Shenmue, for all of its weirdness, is a really unique video game experience. I didn't play Shenmue 2 or 3. I don't think I ever want to or need to.
You really haven't missed much, to be honest.
Yeah,
story-wise, especially for 3. I played 3, and I just went, okay. I just did all this to be told, no, we'll finish the story later, maybe.
That's what I heard, was that this game took 20 years to come out, or almost 20 years to come out, and it still ends on a bullshit cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm. Not great.
Yeah, I can't get with that. But
No.
Shenmue was a really unique gaming experience, and Bayonetta feels really weird and unique. I never played 2 or 3, but I heard they're good.
That's the only reason I still have my Wii U around, because I just haven't gotten around to playing 2 yet. I've got to get in there. I got to do it. But yeah, Sega has an interesting history now that they're not making consoles. Now that they're just straight up publishing games. They got Sonic, great cash cow. Always, it doesn't matter how good or bad they make a Sonic game, people are going to buy it. But then they've also got Yakuza / Like a Dragon, and that's another one where people will just straight up buy it no matter what, and I'm one of those people.
Yakuza 0
Oh,
was probably one of my favorite video game experiences I've had in years.
it is phenomenal, and I think it's such a more focused version of what all that came before in the context.
It's a great
of it.
story, good acting, like great setting.
Even the English dub, which has kind of been the weak spot of the Yakuza games, for Zero was spot on.
I just did a Japanese dub.
Well,
the OG.
if you get a chance, just catch some YouTube and look through English dub, just some key moments, you know. It's really surprising that they got a phenomenal cast and they did some great directing. Boy, an English dub can really make or break certain games. Because I've always played Yakuza games with the Japanese dub, but then when I got to Like a Dragon, when they switched protagonists, I was like, okay, well, this is my chance to give the English dub a shot. And so far, so damn good. Like, I've really been impressed. Even they do the songs in English. So Dame Dame, in the karaoke sections, they have an English translation of that song, and I've been a fool. Oh, it's great. I can't. As soon as I played Zero and Kiwami 2, I was in deep for Yakuza games.
I got a couple hours in the Kiwami, and I think after playing Zero, which was such a high quality experience, that Kiwami 1 just didn't hit the same.
Because unfortunately it is stuck being a remake of the first game. It's kind of that, like, yeah, we have to go back a little bit. But overall, just the story's good. Anyway, you can't get enough good things out of me about Like a Dragon. But Sega they've got the offbeat shit. They've always got the offbeat weird shit. They always had like Space Channel 5 or Choo Choo Rocket in the Dreamcast days, or Power Stone, or like
Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio, yes.
Which they're apparently making a new Crazy Taxi.
Well, there's a Crazy Taxi minigame in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Really?
It's not actually Crazy Taxi, but you're doing food delivery. So it's like crazy delivery. It's like, I know what you're doing, Sega. Thank you.
Amazing.
It's great.
Yeah, only they gave us a new Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah, they re-released some on the Switch though, so there's hope. How about you, Brian? What have you been up to this week?
So much. I did photograph All Access for the band Camino, but I'm going to save that for the Thanks I Hate It, because that's a lot to talk about. I got to catch everyone's weird shoegaze band that they love, SoftCult.
Ah.
I got to catch them for the second time Monday evening at Duck Room. And yeah, they're still really fucking good.
Now, for those of you who are not in St. Louis, the Duck Room is a Blueberry Hill. It's a deep underground.
They used to be Cicero's back in the day.
It's a big room.
It's like 200 people.
Well, I mean, it looks big, but it's cavernous. It's dark. It's dank. It's deep. It's under the ground, and the sound bounces. So it sounds huge. We saw Melt Banana there.
That was very loud.
Very loud.
Very good.
So seeing SoftCult there, I'm sure, was an experience.
I mean, it's the second time I've seen SoftCult there. The thing about the Duck Room is lighting's really shit.
Yes.
Like, not tough shit. It's like objectively bad. So that's like an issue I have photographing there. But it's a fun room to see a show. It's intimate. It's a little weird because I think SoftCult St. Louis is one of their smaller markets. So they're playing like places as big as Off Broadway or closer to like Red Flag, you know, anywhere between a 400 and like an 800 cap. But they come to St. Louis and they play the basement, which is whatever. But just again, like a really solid performance. Their new EP Heaven is pretty good. I still think See You in the Dark is kind of an all-timer as far as shoegaze inspired music that's come out this decade. Have you listened to much of SoftCult?
I can't say I'm as familiar, no.
Yeah, they just kind of like ran down like pretty much all of their like best songs. Like they played a really great set list and some of the new stuff that's starting to grow on me. But the thing that kind of got me, and it's probably going to be something I touch upon when I write about it for the Arts STL, is just like near the end of the set. Hold on, give me a second. Let me get my names right here.
Well, sure, I got to use.
So, the core of the band, it's two twin sisters from Canada, Mercedes Arnhorn, who's vocalist, guitarist, and her twin sister Phoenix, who plays drums. Then they have like a touring guitarist and a touring bass player whose names I forget off the top of my head, but they're very, very good musicians. Like all together is like a very tight 4-piece. But near in the set, the band has very much like a social justice, like a anti-rape culture slant to them, which is all fine and good. Actually, it's the way they go about it. Is, but Mercedes did this the last time they played St. Louis, where it kind of felt like I was listening to someone read off a Tumblr post from like 2011. Also, like she's talking about, if you're here, you're not just here because of music, you're here because of like the message, because of the ethics behind the music, and you listen to this music and you talk about it and you share it. You're also like sharing the revolution, and it's like, man, I've been hearing this shit since I bought International Noise Conspiracy record at Best Buy in 2001. I've been hearing about this revolution shit. For a minute, and it's like, okay, like if I didn't think you were so sincere, I'd be rolling my eyes a lot harder than I am right now. But it kind of struck me that like this is the best we've got for this kind of stuff. Is someone in a basement in St. Louis saying like, fuck rape culture, fuck shitty people. She's speaking to a crowd, but she's really speaking to a crowd of individuals. And it kind of goes back to the thing that Patti Smith says in the beginning of Hypernormalization, the M. Curse documentary, where she talks. I think maybe M. Curse it's a kind of like a dialogue between both of them, even though it's archival footage of Patti Smith, and M. Curse is weaving his own narrative. But it's basically that, with the intellectual movements, the countercultural movements of the 60s and their failure, all we really had left was a revolution of the self and not collectively. And that feels really disheartening. Yeah. This is still all we got, is like she's like, again, speaking to a crowd of individuals, not a collective. Right. That you, individual, can do something about these societal ills. And I just kind of had this feeling that kind of was eating me from the inside for the last couple of days of just like, well, the spectacle, the mediation of images, detached from reality for the sake of propaganda or for sake of capital. Like it doesn't even have anything aspirational to show us anymore. It's all sucks. It's JD Vance. It's Donald Trump. It's fucking, it's Wesley Bell. It's the Island Boys. It's all garbage. Yeah. We have ultimately picked the garbage disposal over true love every time, and we don't even know that true love was on the menu or was a possibility. No. And that just kind of has been bumming me out for a couple of days. Just like, there's just, I see all of this. Mm-hmm. I go on YouTube, I watch these videos about photography or whatever, and it's not even, even when it's good, it's still kind of garbage. I don't know if that makes sense. Like there's
a loss there. Yeah.
There's a spirit that's been devastated, that's been hollowed out. We can talk about art, and we can talk about what it means to be good at drawing, or what it means to be good at, I don't know, sewing or creating cool costumes. But like the ice caps are still melting. Like there's
nothing ever comes from it.
There's no hope. Well, wherever this is going, it's going to end in 30, 40 years anyways. I don't mean to be like an incredibly like huge bummer here, but like that's just like, well, this is neat. Like we can look 100 years back at something, or 200 years back at something either like creative or something, a political movement or a thought or whatever, like just a thing. We can look 100 years back, but from this point, will we be able to look 800 years forward?
Fuck, man, I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, I'm not. But like,
I mean, I don't think so. But again, we'll both be dead by then. So.
Oh fuck no! We'll have to be working at the Amazon warehouse.
Peter Thiel is gonna have hooked us up with the immortality gene, but only because we got to pay it off at his best friend Jeff Bezos'.
Because I bought a Funko Pop on 2,000% interest. And I missed the first payment, so I really got raked over.
Yep. Indentured servitude.
I really had to have the Scrappy Doo Funko Pop.
I wanted the Scrappy Doo Found Dead in Miami Funko Pop, but they didn't. They were out.
That's a shame. Yeah. So yeah, that's just what's been kind of ruminating in my little noggin.
All right. Well, let's tell people where to find us online for more.
Now that like I've convinced you all to put sleeping pills in your children's food.
Tell us how you did it. Find us online.
Tell us how you did it.
Brian, where can they find you online?
They can find me online at iShockEDBor on Twitter. I'm finally off private, so I could say really important things like pig poop balls.
Hell yeah.
And just like good old days on Instagram, you can find me at a music photographer. If you want to check out my photography portfolio, it's assholemusicphotographer.com. If you want to check out some foes and words, that's over at musicphotographer.com. If you want to check out the last and only good media website in St. Louis, you can head over to theartsstl.com.
What do they got for us this week?
This week's a little dry.
Oh, yeah?
Some weeks are a little quick. Some weeks are a little fast. Some weeks are a little slow. But as far as like music stuff, there's a Laura Jarrell.
Mm-hmm.
Has a nice little photo gallery of the Heart in the Head and Phosphorescent over at St. Louis Music Park from a couple days ago.
Nice. Looks like we're
My
doing...
Jeezy photos are up.
Yay!
Hopefully by the time this episode goes out, I'll at least have the SoftCult stuff up.
Excellent.
Those are all just going to be black and white because the lighting was rough. But tomorrow night, I am indeed photographing the magical, magnificent Vampire Weekend. If I can find my fucking boat and shoes. I feel like when I hear a punk,
I know.
it feels like my activation code. like I'm supposed to go on the roof of like a sod company in Pennsylvania with a 22.
My favorite thing about A-Punk is that maybe a year or two ago, a juror out of Florida there, who is also known as the Ska Tune Network, teamed up with Jeff Rosenstock to do a cover of it. And that's like, okay, this is...
I haven't heard it. Maybe I won't hate it. So I've got that going on tomorrow night. Friday night, I might go out and see Be Your Own Pet. Still...
Mm-hmm.
I ran into Man About Town music scene Jim Utz at SoftCult. And he was like, he's also like, I think I want to go see Be Your Own Pet. Like, it may never happen again.
Yeah, that now would be the time.
Now it didn't happen 15 years ago.
Right.
Probably won't happen 15 years from now. And then next week I've got Orville Peck.
Oh, fantastic.
And Fish.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm intrigued. I kind of want to see what you write about.
As a sober person at a Fish show.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
God. And hopefully I'm trying to get press credentials for Metro Boomin at the pageant.
Oh, sick.
That'd be really cool. Apparently there's going to be some big guests at that show. I can't really kiss and tell on that. But
that's word on the street.
Word on the street is going to be fucking nuts, which is why it has $100 fucking general admission tag. I asked
holy
one of my
shit,
boys
too rich for me, baby. Wow.
I asked one of my boys at the pageant if that was the most expensive GA ticket they ever did, and he said Sting was more expensive, which means that this is more expensive than when Bob Dylan did 3 nights there about 10, 15 years ago.
I know those of you out in podcast land can't see my face. I am blinking in baffled confusion. How? I guess that's just capitalism, baby. Well, you can find me online in various places as Videocrime, Videocrime. If there's a video crime, chances are that's me. We're talking about Twitter, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, any old place. If you think of it, it's there. With the notable exceptions, of course, of Instagram and TikTok. There, I am Laser Goose CEO, Laser with an S, because I am not a Philistine. You can contact the show in a myriad of ways, but my favorite one is always the telephone. Give us a call, 314-246-9766, 314-AHOY POO, if you'd like to spell with your telephone. Shoot us an email, jason@48minutesdogsbarking.com or Brian with a Y @48minutesdogsbarking.com. You can also support the show, patreon.com/48minutesofdogs. There you will find our weekly post-show hangout / cut content / whatever the hell I feel like throwing in there on a random Thursday morning. It's going to be there for you on Fridays. That's patreon.com/48minutesdogs. And if we get 10 members at the $10 level, we're going to give you a 90-minute commentary track on the Japanese puke fetish video Garo Monster Home Delivery. Now, it's really funny. I talked about the Patreon. Brief, quick story. D messaged me Friday night.
Yeah.
Where is Thanks I Hate It? Where is it?
She just talked to me about this. She's like, I was gonna feel bad because I'm like demanding content, and then you apparently responded with like, "Oh shit, I thought I had set the auto upload."
Well, Friday, as some of you know, I work in the IT field, and CrowdStrike hit, and everybody kind of lost their minds, and so scheduling the episode didn't quite hit as it was supposed to. So
it's about time of that show where we get the fuck out of here and
we tell you good night. Yeah,
we're gonna go Jimmy Carter. He's had too good
for too long. That's right.